Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. The library was next to the servant room. Father always owned a vast book collection, but ever since he started becoming engrossed with his occult hobby, that collection grew even larger, so that the normal books suitable for normal study had been forced out as his study overflowed. This so-called library was mostly used as a storage room for those normal books. They were all thick, like complete encyclopedias for intellectuals, but that was very convenient for me, now that I was investigating something. I entered softly, and just in case, I checked the room with my gun readied, making sure that there was no suspicious people there. Then I locked it from the inside. I actually wasn't thinking the murderer might be hiding somewhere. What scared me was the thought that one of my siblings might hear what I was investigating. My heart had started racing before I realized it. I was half asleep just a moment ago, so I didn't realize how significant this thing I noticed was. But as I gradually became aware, my heart started to feel like I was about to explode. I wonder if any of their siblings noticed this. I don't think Kraus and Rudolph will notice, but I don't know about Kyrie. She has an extraordinarily good intuition, and I don't know about Rose either. Rose is stupid too. She always has been, incredibly so. Really? I'd say she was wise enough to make you think she was stupid, so that she didn't earn herself unnecessary malice. Here it is. I wonder if we'll find it in this one. I pulled the book out and flipped through the pages. So this is a Sweetfish River. I see. This is what the Sweetfish River means. Don't dawdle around, research further. Yes, I understand. As you travel down it, you will see a village. By using the character, does he mean a town or something? That's just an area of dense population, so that could be any number of those. Why have you stopped thinking? Oh, is this too much work for you? If only you just give up. If only you just hand the Ushiromi headship over to Kyrie. I don't want to. I will become the head. This is my first and last chance. What is this village? What does it mean? Do you find one if you go down the river? In the village, look for the shore the two will tell you of. This means shore. Get it? Oh, gulp. I understand. Shore. Right before my eyes, the pieces I hadn't been able to understand all began to snap into place all by themselves. I couldn't even remember to close my open mouth. My throat grew completely dry. Is it really okay for this to be the answer? But really? But this isn't 6 characters at all. I'm absolutely sure this is the answer, but this doesn't reach 6 characters at all. Did you stop thinking again? In that case, think of a way you could read it with 6 characters. If you can't think of one, then research it. There has to be an answer. You must not doubt that. Oh, is believing in that too much for you? If only you just cry yourself to sleep and then you can just give up and die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, 6 characters. I found it. This is the key to the Golden Land. Yes, this is the key to the Golden Land. The key to our childhood dreams. The only keyhole this key can be stuck in is that place. That has to be what offering the sacrifices means. I'm sure you get it by now, right? I'll be honest, I don't. I mean, I follow the surface level stuff, but really, like, what Sweetfish River is and all that stuff, what the key is, like, what they figured out, I don't know. I do not know that. This way? Go this way. They're inviting me to go this way. My heart leapt, because there, gaping wide, was an open mouth in the eerie darkness. Oh, what's this? What is this? When I strained my eyes, peering into the darkness, I saw something that looked like a light switch. In addition, there was a switch with open and close written on it. When I resolutely pushed the switch, rough lights like you'd find in a coal mine turned on sporadically, making a staircase that stretched underground come hazily into view. Eerily enough, it looked even more gloomy with the lights turned on. Near the light switch was that open and close switch. It would probably be open or closed, but if this open part happened to be broken, I might be shut away in this creepy underground area for all eternity. So for the time being, I didn't touch that switch, and as I readied my gun, I slowly went down the stairs. The ceiling was very high, so it didn't feel cramped. On the contrary, it felt as though a cool breeze was blowing upward, and the creepiness seemed to form a sort of aura. As I readied my gun and carefully stared forwards, I descended the stairs. The walls, the stairs, the lights, all of them were very old-fashioned. It was easy to suspect that this had been built back when the mansion had been constructed on this island. There were cracks in the ceiling and water clung to the walls, constantly dripping down. The water fell into a gutter that had been set up alongside the stairs, then quickly and silently flowed into the underground darkness, as though it was telling me to go faster. The staircase kept turning back on itself. I don't know how far down I've gone, but I think it's much deeper than one floor. Eventually, a rough metal door showed itself, and there characters had been written in a dark red paint. They had probably been written a long time ago. On the 10th twilight, at journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. My heart, which was already about to explode, jumped about even more as soon as I recognized those deep red characters. There's no mistake, this is the last stop. Father's Golden Land. I calmed my throbbing heart, somehow regained my composure, and readied my gun again, but since in the end I couldn't open the door, with the gun held in both hands, I lowered the gun, carefully hid my breath, and opened the door. That this place is my first impression when I saw the room was that it might be linked to one of the rooms in the mansion. That's right, it had exactly the same atmosphere about it as sealed VIP room on the second floor. I mean, he did say multiple times when your dad went missing that he was like, "Oh, I took a nap in the library." Though I believe we went to a separate room that was outside somewhere. Maybe the chapel, maybe the outside. Also, the existence of a tunnel like this inside this mansion, that probably connects to multiple rooms, kind of fucks up the secret. Closed room shit. Exactly the same as a sealed VIP room on the second floor, but this was underground, so there were no windows. There was only the solemn light of a grand chandelier, but even though it was dimly lit by faint light, the quality of the interior was more than enough to take your breath away. A bed with a canopy and a rocking chair that looked like it would be comfortable to sit in, an extravagant sofa and carpet. The room was like a dream every girl yearns for at least once, and yet since it was an underground hidden room with no windows, it felt more like a hidden house of a witch. I'd never swallowed the legend of Beatrice, Witch of the Forest. However, after being shown this room, it certainly became hard to doubt that she actually had existed and had lived in this room. Is someone there? Even though I was completely shocked by this room, I carefully, no timidly, searched the interior with my gun raised, and at the back of the room I found it. Eek! My gasp came out strangely like a bunny being choked. After all, finding something like this, no one would be able to stop that kind of stupid voice from leaking out. It's here, It's really here, Father's gold. On the opposite side of the canopy bed, it was piled up in a massive heap. It was a mountain of gold ingots. Of course, they weren't piled up carelessly in a way that would damage the dignity of this room. A beautiful scarlet satin weave was laid on the mountain of gold, creating a beautiful three-colored mix between red, gold, and the black of the deep darkness. It was as though the witch slept on this bed. The gold would be respectful chamberlain, waiting for her, nobly, refined, gracefully, beautifully. It was attentively piled there with an imposing air. When I tried to grab a single gold ingot, I was surprised by its weight. It was probably about 10 kilograms. Just this ingot would probably be worth more than 10 million. The Ushiromi family crest, the one image, was lightly imprinted on it. It was hard to tell it had worn away, or whether the impression had been made carelessly in the first place, but it was certainly the crest of the one-winged eagle. Just how many ingots were piled up there? By doing a quick count here and there and judging by the height, it had to be a few hundred at least. My mind's already gone blank, so I can't do the math well. Even a moderate guess would put it above several billion yen. That's right, of course. After all, there's 10 tons of gold, right? At the current value, that's more than 20 billion yen of gold. I found it before anyone else. I found it. In front of the mountain of gold, I spread my arms and looked up at the ceiling. A laugh without a trace of dignity flowed out from my entire body. I had no intention of laughing in a weird way, but I couldn't hold back the happy feeling. That was the happy feeling that was flowing out from me. My older brother probably wouldn't accept his loss just because I found this gold, but from now on, there would be no change in the fact that I had been one to find it. To steal away the headship of the family, some more subtle bargaining would probably still be required. But after everything I've gone through until now, that's a completely trivial problem. Even if I lose out on the Ushiromi family headship, I already have 20 billion yen worth of gold. Ha 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 ha. At times like this, I've thought money is such a worthless thing. I thought there were so many things in the world you can't buy with money. But now I see that's just a lie. Just an excuse that the have-nots make for themselves. In front of this mountain of gold, I finally realized something so obvious. By using this money, I can give birth to all the happiness in this world. With this money, my husband's company is already saved. We will always be happy as a family. And I can even leave a vast sum of money to George. The rest of the relatives will eventually be ruined and disappear. At the time, George will use his gold. And just like grandfather did, he will revive the Ushiromi family's lost honor. George is the true successor to the Ushiromi family. It happened. My wish was granted. That dream I have wished for ever since I was born into this world as Ushiromi Eba has been granted completely at this very moment. My husband and I will be happy for all eternity. And I can also give my only son, George, eternal happiness. There's no way I'll waste it on foolish pleasures. I mean, even if you did, there's no way you'd even run through even a tenth of that money. Unless there's expensive shit out there I don't know exists. But like, like what would I do if I was rich? I'd own a home. I wouldn't work in a factory. And I would do all the same shit I do now. The end. My older brother has chewed the Ushiromi family to bits, but George and I will revive it. That means I truly have succeeded the Ushiromi family headship. I was successful. I did it, honey, and George. I, your mother, finally succeeded. No one will be able to threaten us now. It reminds me of an old fairy tale. I mean, a lot of fairy tales don't seem to have meaning. Like, there's one fairy tale where there's two kids and they're told not to go outside, and they go outside, and then owls eat their face and they die. I don't know what the point of the don't touch grass. Don't go outside. But, like, there's a story about a man who went to a place and he's told that if he can run around a place around the boundary of a bit of land, he gets all that land, but he has to do it within that day. And if he fails it before nighttime, well, he gives up everything. So he does it, and he's walking along at a pretty decent pace. He's got all day. He's walking around some land, and he keeps seeing more and more really nice land that he wants to include in. But then it starts getting late. He realizes that he's not going to make it in time, so he starts sprinting and sprinting and sprinting to try to make it back to the starting point so he can get all the land to claim for his own. But he dies of a heart attack before he gets back to the starting point, and so he loses. And then they're like, oh, all the land a man needs is a 6-foot plot of land to be buried in. Whereas if he had just stopped much earlier and just went back to the starting point, he would have had a pretty decent amount. So then there's nothing wrong with having a bit of greed, but having too much of it will get you killed. Because in itself, greed is not bad, because you need to have some amount of greed in order to, live. But getting carried away with it. And the question is, well, how far is getting carried away? And the answer is, it's circumstantial. But the main point is you should be aware of whatever those circumstances you live in are. That's right, after this, never again will be smothered by sad nights. Congratulations, me. Congratulations, Ushiromiya Eva. Oh, by the way, since we have all this money now, can we go see a psychiatrist to see why we are hallucinating another person and talking to them? Right here, right now, the sad half of our entire life will have its heart's desire granted. It's all thanks to you. I was given this chance because of your magic. Because of that chance, I was able to make it here. Thank you. But my magic wouldn't have been granted if we both didn't believe in each other. So it isn't just the power of my magic. This is our victory. Because of that, congratulations. Us. Now, I'm pretty sure that's a lambda delta. But here's the thing, whether it's a witch or a ghost or a spirit pretending to be another version of you talking to you, or you're just straight up hallucinating, either way, there's serious concerns here. Now, whether you need an exorcist or a psychiatrist, or maybe you have a brain tumor, I don't know. Thank you, me. Thank you, Ushiromiya Eva. I'm glad I didn't give up before now. I'm glad that I didn't drown in sorrow and forget to keep struggling. No, this is my magic. Our magic. Also, is it still a win if I had help like this from Lambda? Your magic was the real thing, Beatrice. The witch of the forest is nothing more than an illusion. I feel like Beatrice might take offense to that. You are the real witch, a wielder of real magic. That's right. Right now. You are the golden witch, Beatrice. I feel like Beatrice might have let you win this if you weren't, I don't know, rude to somebody who'd be very short-tempered. It's like, but I beat you in Monopoly fair and square. Yes, but I still shot you. But it said pass go and get $200. Yes, but I have a gun. Ava decided to leave for the time being. When she climbed the stairs again, trying to leave the secret place, she saw a creepy, swaying human shadow blocking her path, and her dreamlike state was blown away. Who is it? For an instant, she believed that the true master of this room, the real Beatrice, had appeared. It seemed that the other person was also holding a gun. The two of them were pointing guns at each other. And eventually, they each realized who the other was. Rosa? Nason, what are you doing in a place like this? That's my line. What business do you have in such a place? I shouldn't have given you that hint, Nason. If I hadn't, I definitely would have been here first to reach this place. Too bad. It seemed that Rosa knew where this staircase went, and what was waiting ahead of her. You should talk, even though I reached this place before you. I worried too much about the Sweetfish River. The Sweetfish part didn't really matter much at all, did it? That isn't true. It was an excellent hint, wasn't it? Well, of course, maybe there was no need for it to be sweetfish, but when I heard that the sweetfish are a fish that go out in the sea, I was able to figure it out. What's inside? Why not see with your own eyes? It definitely won't betray your expectations. Are you going to lock her in there? Don't be afraid, Nason. I never had any interest in who becomes the head. I don't even care about the Ushiromiya family name. Honestly, I actually feel good about you stealing the headship from Kraus, Nason. who was always swaggering around because of it. Are you serious? Of course. I'm the outsider of the Ushiromi siblings. Even if father had named me as the next head, there's no way Nissan would accept it. I tried not to have such naive dreams. Let me see too, Nissan, this proof of your victory. As long as I receive the proper portion that the siblings agreed upon, I plan to proactively acknowledge you as the true victor in this game. If you shoot me, then you'll have all this gold to yourself, won't you? The same goes for you. If you shoot me, this gold will all be yours. Like, here's the thing. Like, that's definitely not a bad thing to want all that gold, but if the point where you're, like, willing to murder your sibling for it, that's not good. Thankfully, no rich people have ever killed a sibling over money. Didn't Cain kill Abel just because God was happier at him burning? Okay. For a tense moment, the sisters pointed their guns at each other. Eventually, after they sized up the glint in each other's eyes, they lowered their guns. Ava removed her finger from the trigger and held the gun upside down. It was a position that she couldn't quickly shoot from. When she saw that, Rosa held hers the same way. That's right. That plan of shooting the other and having all the gold to ourselves is attractive for both of us. But one of us suddenly disappears on this island while it's isolated by a typhoon. There would be a huge uproar. If we hid the corpse here, it probably wouldn't be found easily, but we couldn't be sure. No matter how many billion yen worth of gold is on the line, it isn't worth the risk of committing murder. On the contrary, that would give Kraus, Nissan, and the others ammunition to ring us for all we're worth. I agree. How about the fact that you'd feel bad about killing another person, especially your relative? Like, maybe that part should matter. Not, oh, I might lose the gold. Like, you just killed a person. The person was also somebody that you were supposed to care about. You grew up with this person. I mean, I can understand if they, like, try to attack you first. That's very sad. You probably still need, therapy from that because you're sad because you killed a sibling and you're sad they tried to kill you first. But at least you know you did it in self-defense. It wasn't that you did it because you were just greedy. Like, do we really need all 20 billion yen? I agree. It may have been a blessing in disguise that you're the one who showed up. Instead, Nissan or Rudolph. You're the sibling I trust most. Thank you. And you're the sibling I trust most, Nissan. Nissan. And then they shoot each other. I want to see the gold too. Want to have a peek? Now I feel like seeing it again too. Even though I saw it with my own eyes, it still doesn't feel real. Oh no. No. The two who are close. You're the sibling I trust most. You're the sibling I love most too. Okay, now they're both gonna die. After all, that's the prerequisite for Twilight number 2, is two people that are getting along. Damn it! Unless I see it together with you and confirm once more that it actually exists, it feels like the gold will turn to fog and disappear. Well, that's awful what's going to happen. Ava started descending the staircase once more. However, she didn't carelessly expose her back to Rosa. Even though at a glance it looked like Rosa had lowered her guard, she definitely didn't show any signs of carelessness. Then they reached that room of the witch once more. Rosa also gasped, stunned, speechless by the vast amount of gold. Rosa and Ava walked absent-mindedly through the rose garden. They had left the guest house secretly, so they had to be careful when they returned. It was time to snap to it and keep their guards up. Congratulations, Nissan. Thank you. You decided it, didn't you, Nissan? 50% goes to the one bearing the title of successor of the headship. It certainly worked out well for you. Now that portion isn't Kraus Nissan's, so your share is now 50% along with a quarter of the rest, for a total of 12.5 billion yen. Isn't that incredible? 2.5 billion yen is enough for me. Rudolph Nissan won't complain either. Kraus Nissan will probably be the one to complain. Yeah, you're right. After all, Nissan is the de facto manager of Rockanjima, and since the gold was on these premises, even though I was the first to discover it, things might get complicated if I don't handle it cleverly. It won't get complicated. Didn't we give it our all in the discussion last night with that in mind? I wonder if it really will go that smoothly. I've already completely gotten over my excitement. How will we manage everything from here on is the real problem. You do guys remember there was a murderer on this island, right? That's a problem for the new head of the Fushiromia family. A problem for you to enjoy, Nason. It has nothing to do with me. That's some big talk coming from you. I'll support you as a second discoverer. If you'll at least give me the early payment we decided on. I'd like 150 million yen by March. Yes, that will be fine. If you support me, I'll graciously pay you that much. I'm not Nissan. Anyway, why don't we go and shock Nissan and the others before we get murdered in the Rose Garden. Even if we cover up the actual location, I want to see Kraus Nissan's shocked face as soon as I can. Wait a second, Rosa. Wait a while before telling everyone about it. Huh? Why? You idiot, isn't it obvious? This is that haughty Kraus Nissan and the sly Rudolph we're talking about. Even if we do announce it eventually, it's certainly too early now. Unless we carefully investigate how to make our next move. No, this is dumb. We should be honest about it, straightforward. Also, we should stop being alone in the middle of the fucking wind, in the rain, if there's a murderer. So also all the gold will finally be found, and we snatch away from Nissan. Ava thought she was saying something extremely natural. So when she saw Rose's expression suddenly cloud over, she was a little surprised. What are you unsatisfied about? You know what kind of person Kraus Nissan is. Shoot. Nason, that's against the rules. What do you mean? Didn't we make it a rule that whoever found the gold would announce it immediately? If you hesitate, the foundation of those rules will be destroyed, and that could lead to something worse in the future. With Kraus Nissan, as crafty as he is, that violation of the rules will come back to bite you. Yeah, you are violating the contract. Don't be stupid. This is Nissan's island. And that gold just now won't cash. We're talking about the liquidation of a vast 10-ton mountain, right? It will take a significant amount of time to carry it off and turn it into cash. And that will only work in Nissan's favor since he practical control over the island. Don't you even realize that? I don't like it when you search out each other's weaknesses like that. All I want is to reach a clear decision regarding my 2.5 billion portion. Of course, if you were giving me my 2.5 billion in cash right now, you'd be free to continue negotiating however you like. But until I have my share in my own pocket, I will follow the siblings' rules. How can you be so naive? You don't understand Nissan's craftiness at all. It wasn't that Rosa didn't understand the craftiness of her older siblings. In that sense, Rosa more or less understood why Ava was being so cautious. But in her heart, she couldn't clear away her suspicion that Ava wanted to keep all the gold for herself, because she knew that Ava was at least as crafty as her other siblings. In other words, Rosa wanted to put a stop to any chance Ava had to keep the gold all to herself, by quickly informing the siblings of the gold's discovery. Rosa? Sorry, but at least listen to me this once. Are you saying that if I don't listen to what you say, you won't be able to get me that 150 million? That isn't the way I wanted to say it. But if you really need that money, supporting me is a more realistic option. If you talk to Nissan and Rudolph, even the portion that your natural right might disappear. You don't want that, do you? For a while, a severe expression that she had never shown to her sister before rose to Rose's face. There wasn't even a trace of her restraint as youngest sister. There was just the ruthlessness, no, the seriousness of a single human being arguing about a vast sum of wealth. Ava made light of it, chuckling. My, how careless we must be to stand around here talking like this, even though a frightful murder case has just taken place, and the culprit might still be on this island. I'm sure it was just then the servants play acting. There are no murders on this island in the first place. Oh? So you do think that after all? The circumstances surrounding those 6 deaths shown to us clearly. A crime from the outside couldn't possibly have created the 6 closed rooms. Dr. Nandra said they were all dead, but that wasn't like too. This is all a complicated act that Father cooked up. All the servants are just playing dead. A murder never occurred in the first place. There's no way that murderer prowling around. Ha! I'm surprised you noticed. You looked pretty scared, so I didn't think you'd figured out so much. I'm good at reading the mood of a situation. I've got you to thank for training me so well. That's right. Come to think of it, now that the servants are dead, almost everyone on the island is a member of the Ushiromiya family. As for Najo, he proclaimed the deaths of the servants, but when the relatives began to discuss the riddle of the epitaph, he disappeared off to the second floor as if he didn't want to get in the way. All of it was an act to get us to try and solve that epitaph, and that's why you need to announce that you're the victor, Nason. There's no way the burnt corpse was really father. He got a corpse, brought the right amount of toes somewhere, and went all the trouble burning in that creepy way of his so we would see it. I'm sure he's hiding somewhere, watching to see how we'll behave. I'll bet he already knows you reached the Golden Land, Nason. That's why you should announce that you're the winner soon. I'm sure Father will appear out of nowhere to applaud you and proclaim that you're his successor. Then again, I've still got to pester you for that 150 million, so I can't stand against you in any way. So you'll listen to what I say and keep quiet about this Nason and the rest. Make your position clear, Rosa. I want to tell them. We made the rule just last night. We shouldn't just throw it away. Of course, I will announce it in front of the siblings. However, I want to closely analyze the situation first. We've got to carry out 10 tons of gold and convert it into money. And distribute it fairly. Until I have proof that I can do all that without Nason getting in the way, I want some time to think. I only want to postpone my announcement until then. How long would that be? Certainly not keeping a secret because I want it all for myself. You'll definitely announce it to everyone sooner or later, right? Yes, of course. Even I want to rub it in Nason's face as soon as I can. About how much time will you need to think? I won't know that until I've thought about it. Will one night be enough? I can't promise you that it will take only one night. Out of respect for you, the successor, I support you for one night. This year's family conference will end tomorrow morning when the typhoon passes and a boat comes to get us. We're all going to be dead by the midnight anyway, so... That's right, when the seagulls cry, everyone's dead. I will remain silent until then. You still feel you need more time to think after that, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there, okay? I'll support your position to the best of my ability. You really are cunning, aren't you? I'm surprised. Were you always this resilient? I guess it's true that women become stronger when they have a child. I realized that in myself when I had Maria. Understood. For the time being, thanks to your cooperation. We can talk about tomorrow when it comes. Yeah, that's right. I'm convinced that you'll become a fair-minded successor to that ship, one who would never even consider taking all the gold for herself. Isn't that obvious? I will split the gold evenly among the siblings. No way. I found it. Because we solved the riddle of the epitaph. Technically, Rosa did too. So this gold is all mine. I won't give it up to anyone. I am the head of the Ushiromiya family. I am. The witch inside Ava claimed exclusive possession. And a loud voice. Oh no, Ava's schizophrenia is getting worse. Of course, that didn't reach even Rosa's ears. And it probably didn't even reach Ava's ears. Indeed. I shall acknowledge it. You are the true head of the Ushiromiya family, chosen by the witch's epitaph. Now I acknowledge it upon my name. You are... That outfit, you couldn't actually be Beatrice. Beatrice isn't even supporting her out of, like, actual support. She's just trying to goad her on into, becoming a psychotic killer. It's like fucking Hannibal Lecter showing up to say yes. Or like fucking Palpatine to Anakin.